Dwayne here.
And Gavin.
And we're with Bronco Wild Outdoors. Thanks for watching this video. And as you could tell from the thumbnail, I think I'm onto something here. Yes. I know engines, right? Yeah. I know engines. And I know Ford selections of engines. And when we talk about the Ford Bronco Raptor, what's one of the biggest questions going to be?
What's the engine going to be in it?
Right. What is the power plant? What is Ford going to move this thing down, this beast down the trails with? So I have an idea. Now, obviously it's speculation, but let me tell you why before I tell you the engine that I'm pretty certain is going to be in the Bronco. Let me tell you why I think that. I think the Ford engineers wanted to stick with the 2.7 Nano EcoBoost V6. If you watch my channel, you'll know I did a in-depth video on the EcoBoost 2.7 and sort of its lineage and how it got to be where it is. And it's a good engine. We like it. We have it in our Bronco. However, when you're trying to get that 400 horsepower range, which I believe we will be close to 400, and over 600 feet-pounds of torque, you're asking a lot of an engine. And so what happens is to get that horsepower as easy as possible, you have to build displacement. You have to have a larger displacement engine, but not V8 displacement, just maybe not 3.5. And we look at weight and spacing and all types of stuff, which plant the engine's built at, and all sorts of things go into it. There is a financial component to the engine as well, right? So it's not just what's best for the Bronco, it's what makes sense, on the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to work financially, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's get...
Too expensive.
That's right. So let's get started. And I'm getting ready, just a couple seconds here, a couple minutes. I'm going to tell you what my selection, actually, I'm going to let Gavin say it. Yeah. The selection of the engine choice, I should say, the engine choice that Ford is going to pick for the Bronco. If I'm wrong, you can comment later and say, ha, you were wrong. Well, today is November 10th. And it has not been officially released, at least to my knowledge. Have you heard anything? I haven't heard anything. Let's get started. All right. This engine was created in 2016 and first hit the first car. First was installed in the first car in 17. The bore of our engine selection is 85 millimeters. So the bore diameter is 85 millimeters. To give you a reference, the 2.7 bore is 83.06. The 2.7 is a square engine. I'll tell you what that means. The stroke on our selection, our choice, I should say, is 86 millimeter. So that's the travel of the piston, right? Top to bottom, compression stroke, all the way down, top dead center, bottom dead center. On the 2.7 is 83.06. The reason why I say it's square is the bore and the stroke are identical. This engine here, you can see that the stroke is longer at 86 millimeters than the bore at 85 millimeters. Compression ratio on our selection is 9.5 to 1. On the 2.7 Nano, some places you'll see it's printed 10 to 1. It's 10.3 to 1 is the actual compression ratio that's in our Broncos. So I'm predicting 475 to 485 on the horsepower and 600 feet-pounds of torque plus. I don't know exactly where it's going to end up. This engine is all cast aluminum. So aluminum cylinder heads, cast aluminum block, and I would imagine a cast aluminum pan. However, it could be a composite pan on the engine, so no promises there. Just depends on, I guess, a lot of stuff. Now, engine displacement is figured by the swept volume of an engine. Right, bore times stroke. It is not the capacity or the size of the combustion chamber. Right, it is how much air can this cylinder pull in and push out. Because ultimately we're mixing air and fuel, and we're throwing a little spark to it, and bingo, we have combustion. Yes. And combustion is what creates power. All right, so the engine that I think is going to be in the 2023 Ford Bronco, available late 22 as of right now. It's going to be based on the 2.7. I think that's where they wanted to go. However, the 2.7 just didn't have exactly what they wanted. The oil pump on this engine is yet to be determined. I think it might be crank driven, could be belt driven. We'll wait and see on that. And this engine is it's gonna boogie on down the trails. It's gonna have plenty of power. It's gonna have plenty of torque, and it's gonna be awesome. And it's not the 3.5. Gavin, please tell everyone here on the YouTube world, which engine do we think is going to be in the Bronco Raptor?
Our guess is our prediction or guess, whatever one you want to say, is the 3.0
EcoBoost. There you go.
I always forget the
Good
EcoBoost.
job. Yeah, you got to say EcoBoost, man, because the EcoBoost means we're boosting it. We have turbos. Twin turbo, single scroll turbo. So one on each side of the engine, really doing a good job balancing the engine out, helping with that pulse in the engine, as we talked about on our 2.3 video. I think this engine has all of the ingredients to do exactly what Ford wants to do with the Bronco. I think it's the perfect selection. The 3.5 is a great engine. It's in the Bronco Raptor pickup truck. It's also in some other vehicles as well. I think Expedition and the list goes on. Keep in mind, though, with the 3.0, horsepowers can change, torque can change. It could go up, it could go down, but the engine is capable of about 500 horsepower and 600 feet-pounds of torque plus. And I'm sure a lot more if you squeezed it out of the tuning. However, Ford is going to have to take the engine and reliability, and they're going to have to mix it with fuel economy, and they'll come up with exactly the scenario. The final tuning will determine, obviously, the final horsepower and torque. Also on the horsepower and torque, think about the Bronco Raptor, the pickup truck now. You think about what? High-speed off-roading?
Yeah.
All spinning tires, hot dogging around, doing all cool stuff?
Yeah.
All right. Think about if you're off-road, think about the wild track in sport mode, right? Higher RPMs. The 2.7 is a great engine for torque, and it's especially a great engine for rock crawling, mud, sand, low RPM fun. This engine is going to make the horsepower and the max torque. It'll make it in the upper RPM numbers. It'll be in the upper 4,000 range in my prediction. And who knows exactly where, but that's just what I'm thinking. If I was lowering the compression of an engine like they did here, they went from 10.3 on the 2.7 to 9.5 on the 3.0. I'm looking at adding more boost. And if I'm going to add more boost at higher RPMs, I want the engine running at a lower RPM, a lower compression most of the time for fuel economy, as well as reliability. And when we stick a lot of air in a cylinder, a turbo is just a big air compressor.
Yeah.
It's more technical than that, but if you think about it, it blows air into the cylinder. So our choice, our prediction, our selection on November the 10th, 2021 is 3.0 for the Bronco Raptor. So EcoBoost. Keep me straight, my man. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You heard it here first. That is my prediction. I know there's rumors all around. There's also rumors it's 3.5. There's rumors it's a 2.3. It's a 3.0. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, show me some love by hitting a like on this video, subscribing to our channel, and hitting that bell icon so you know when Gavin and I go live or drop a video, and you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, you're just full of yeah. Yeah. Tell the nice folks. Good night. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Happy November 10th.
Yeah, and whatever day you're watching this, so we're out. We're having a good time.
2025.
You never know. This maybe was those archives. Remember way back when, Gavin, when we were right about the engine size and the Bronco Raptor?
Remember when we were right?
Remember we were right? Remember when I was right once? No. Look,
Once.
Seriously, if I was in charge of the Ford engine program, this is the engine that I would put in a Bronco. I think, weight, the horsepower ratio, size, it fits. It's off that Nano 2.7 EcoBoost. It's in that family. It's just a little bit bigger. The 3.5 came from the Duratec 35, which all of these engines came from the Duratec family, but they've kind of, in the different generations, kind of done things a little bit different. Anyway, 3.0. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please let us know. Have a good night. See you.
Bye.